Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the December meeting of the Mountain View Computer Users Group. I'm John Buno, the president, and I'm all glad you're here. Today's meeting is going to, we're going to talk about club business, we're timing tech talks, our computer lexicon term of the month, and then a smackdown between two artificial intelligence programs, ChatGPT, which is a very famous one, versus Craft, which is a sort of like a word processor on steroids. It's hard to describe it, but has a very interesting AI component. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy holidays. This is the festival time. Hanukkah, I believe, began tonight, 2 nights ago. Okay. And we have Christmas coming up on the 25th, in case anyone has forgotten about that. I hope you've all gotten your holiday shopping done. I know I haven't even started. Okay. And we have sponsorship for the meetings. They're $10 a month. You can read this. I don't have to. We do have one sponsor right now, the Candle Lady, Carolyn. This is her December specials. And if you've never used one of Carolyn's candles, they are amazing. They really are. They're well worth the cost. They last for a long, long time. One we bought from you a few years ago that we burn infrequently, but it's still going. It's like 3 years old. And we burn about every 2 or 3 weeks or a couple of hours. And it's still going. So they are really, really great investment. We have myself as the president. I got reelected again this last September. Yeah, I know. I've given up counting the number of years. I do know I have the interesting title of being the longest served user group president of all time. So far, when Terry White gave up his, he was the only one that was ahead of me. I got the title then. Terry thinks I'm nuts. Okay. We have a treasurer. Carolyn, do you have a treasurer's report? Turn on the mic.
Hey, mic's on.
Okay, go.
Okay, we have $376.96 in checking and $726.29 in savings for a total of $1,103.25.
Great, thank you very much. And right next to Carolyn is one of our vice presidents, Mike. Mike handles iOS as well as Windows for us. And then we have another vice president. We have two presidents of vice. Barry, who does iOS and the Mac OS. And then we have our mystery, Jim Emmons, who is our webmaster. Jim does in fact exist. I have seen him. He's done an excellent job on our website, MVCUG.org. You should go up there as often, about once a week, to check out what's going on, see if there's any changes, and always check it before a meeting. Always go up the morning of just to see if anything has changed, like our room, which changes dynamically. We also have a Facebook page where we keep information. Now, why should you become a member? Well, here are the benefits. And I'm not going to read it to you, except for the professional consultation. Barry and I both do it. We do make house calls if necessary. We try and handle everything over the phone. 90% of the problems can be handled that way. Membership is $25 per household annually, due in the September meeting. If you are a new member, it is prorated. If you're an existing member, it's $25. Cheap at twice the price. For $25, okay, annual goes to Carolyn by check or PayPal. Now, because we did not have a meeting last month, we've had to move the calendar around a bit. This month, it's the Smackdown again. January, we're doing the digital wallet, and the digital wallet is becoming more and more usable. Tickets for events were in my digital wallet. On my recent trip, all my boarding passes for all the airlines were digital. Now, could I get them paper still? Yes, but they were digital. Our boarding pass for the boat, I had digitally. Okay. And then February, we're going to have the state of online information, what is real, what is fake, and how to figure out which is which. Now, that is a meeting I am really looking forward to, because I'm not quite too sure how to tell the difference. It's getting harder and harder. Now, Tommy Tech Talk, I've been out of the country for almost a month, so this is just the things I was able to glean. If you've not been watching the stock market, Apple stock and Microsoft stock have taken huge jumps this past month. Apple stock is up over $12 a share from a month ago. Apparently, the new Max iOS is been accepted very well. The other thing that came out, if you have an iOS device, iOS 17.2 with Journal, which is the new diary, for want of a better term. I have been using it, and honestly, I am very disappointed in it. It's not what I was expecting. It's nothing more than Notepad or Notebook, Apple's Notebook, with a different user interface. Does it work? Yes. Does it make journaling easier than using Notebook? No. We will be giving a demonstration of it next month, so that's where we are. We've got tips and tricks. I'm going to show, well, let me show this one on Remember This shortcut. This is for iOS, and what it is, it's a shortcut that you can easily create that will automatically create a reminder note so you can remember it. And all you have to say is, remember this, and then she'll ask you, and let's take a look at it.
Many of us have problems remembering things that we've forgotten, and this is a unique solution that might solve that for you. This shortcut creates a note, places it into a special folder, and creates a new one every day. So things you need to remember, you can always find very easily. We're going to be getting a shortcut, and the first thing we do is we open up the Shortcuts application. And if you don't have the Shortcuts application on your phone, just go up to the App Store and download it. Once the Shortcut application opens, click on the Gallery button in the bottom right-hand corner. Then we need to search for the Remember This shortcut. Click on the icon in order to add it to our gallery. As you can see, it has been added to all of our shortcuts, and now we can use it. Now let's run this shortcut and see what happens. It asks us what we want to remember, so we type that in, and then click on the Done button. And when we are done, click on the Done button. You'll be asked if you want to include a photo. Now let's go take a look at our newly created note. By default, it is not placed into a folder, and is just placed in the General Notes section, as you can see here. When we open the note, we can see all the entries that have been made for each day, and we can add to it. So every time you create a Remember This, it adds it to this note. But to make this easier, we're going to modify the shortcut so we can place it in a specific folder that we can then create a widget to see easily on the desktop. So we're going to create a new folder by clicking on the folder icon in the bottom left-hand corner. We want to name the folder Remember This, and we can see it's created in our folders. Now we have to change the shortcut to put the notes inside here. So we have to return to the Shortcuts application, and then we need to edit the Remember This shortcut. To edit the Remember This shortcut, press and hold on the Remember This icon. This will bring up a submenu, and select Edit from this menu. This will open up the shortcut instructions, and we want to scroll down until we find, to change the folder where the notes were placed, select Folder where it says Create Notes With. This will bring up a list of the folders in Notes. Do a search on Remember This and select Remember This, and that adds that to the folder. So now when we create a new note, it will automatically be placed in the Remember This folder in our notes. Now we have to add this shortcut to our desktop so we can use it. Once again, press on the Remember This icon. This brings up the submenu, and select Share from that submenu. Now the next menu that pops up, scroll down until you see Add to Home Screen, and then select Add on this next screen, and it's now been added to your home screen, as you can see here. For the last portion of this, we're going to create a widget in order to get to the note very easily. I have created a blank screen just to make it easier for you to follow this. To create the widget, press and hold on the screen until you start to get the jiggles. Press and hold the plus button in the upper left-hand corner to bring up the widget manager. Scroll down until you find the Notes application widgets, just right here. Selecting this will bring up the widgets you can use. Select the one that says Folder Single Note, which is the very first one. Now you have the widget on your desktop. What we have to do now is edit the widget and change the folder. Go down, scroll down to find Remember This, select that, and now you have a widget on your desktop where you can get to your notes. It's that simple.
Okay, Barry, are you ready?
This is kind of sharing a new favorite of mine with some tips built in. And the tips might actually apply more to John than anybody, because I'm not sure anybody else has an Apple Watch. So the first part of this is to be able to show you my watch face on the screen. I'm mirroring my phone to John's computer so it can be projected in the room. And so how do I get my watch up there? Well, here's the tip for John. If you go to Settings on your iPhone and go to Accessibility, there is an item called Apple Watch Mirroring. You turn it on and wake up your watch, and ta-da! You can see my watch face. It's that simple. Now, this is just my regular watch face I use most of the time. And another tip for Apple Watch users, in the latest version of the Apple Watch, to change faces prior to Watch OS, what is it now, 10? You just swiped left or right to change the watch face, but that doesn't work anymore. They changed the interface so that you have to tap and hold on the watch face, and then you get an edit mode, which you can then swipe to a different watch face. So there's Mickey. He's been around since the very first Apple Watch, and there's a mini watch face as well. But this is new, a Snoopy watch face in Watch OS 10. And I've just really been enjoying this. So this is the part that talk about my favorite. As you can see, Snoopy and Woodstock animate. And when the watch goes to sleep, what you see is Snoopy sleeping on top of his doghouse. However, when you're mirroring the watch never goes to sleep, so I can't show you that. But I can show you, go in and out of this, another animation. I'm laughing because I've never seen this one before. I've been using this watch face for over a month, and I put it on during the day when I'm at home. The animations, they interact with the hands of the watch. And I don't know how many animations they've got built into this watch face, and they may even be adding them every time there's a point upgrade to the operating system. I don't know. But I'm still seeing animations that I've never seen before. And it's incredible. It's just so delightful. And I'm hoping when the next watch OS comes out, which is imminent because the release candidate has been announced already. So I'm assuming we're going to have operating system upgrades come out this weekend or early next week. So I'm hoping maybe there's even some holiday animations that will pop up in the Snoopy watch face for the rest of the month. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's a nice, fun, it's just a basic analog watch face. There's no other complications. You can't add anything else to it, but it's just kind of fun. Every time I check the time with this watch face on, I see a cute little Peanuts animation, and I just enjoy it so much. So that's my favorite, with a couple of little watch and phone tips built in.
Okay, this doesn't apply to a lot of people, but does apply to some that use Final Cut Pro. And I'm not going to demonstrate it. I'm just going to talk about it. Company Motion VFX, that has been a leader in creating plugins for Final Cut Pro, released what is called M-Roto, for rotoscoping. And rotoscoping is where you can go in and cut out a background. Like if you've ever seen this online, you'll see the background behind me, the MVCUG logo. Well, they've come up with a way of rotoscoping to do that is so far superior to anything else that's been on the market on any platform, that this just took the entire community by storm. It makes rotoscoping of any type, of any shape, very simple, and the results are phenomenally good. Any questions? If there's no questions, we'll move right along. Term this month is Assistive Writing, and I've subtitled it Practically Used for Artificial Intelligence Writing. Is it? Okay, assistive writing is defined as devices for writing or typing independently, where you can be assisted like you have a secretary or a copywriters. It uses a digital platform for writing and communication, and you can use it for all types of writing. Narrative writing, emails, letters, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. How these things do it and how well they do it. Another thing, which is what I use it for a lot, is proofreading. I must admit that the AI engines out today do a really good job of proofreading documents. It's not the way I would like to see it done. I would like to see them proofread it and show me the changes. Right now, what they do is that they change it with no interaction at all. Some other things, you can create a writing format that I just talked about. You can create lists and reminders. You can organize schedules and appointments using assistive writing. So this takes away the drudgery of everyday writing and makes it simple. Like you can get an AI component to write emails for you. It does a very good job. You can use it to create reminders. You can also use it for managing personal finance and documents. These are all things assistive writing can do for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to go into today's presentation. Any questions so far? Okay, if there's no questions, let's take a short break. Today's topic is a smackdown between two AI programs, Craft and GPT. Just a quick overview of AI writing smackdown. The digital age, embracing technology everywhere. Technology is all around us now. You can't get away from it. Your TVs, your phones, your refrigerators. I mean, new refrigerators have internet connection. Why? I don't know. Why do you need to have a monitor in your refrigerator to surf the internet? I haven't figured that one out. And so what we're going to do today is compare two of these programs that are leaders in the assistive writing. And I got this idea when I was reading an article about Craft versus ChatGPT for assistive writing. That's what the article is about. I said, I wonder which one is better. The article was not comparing them. It was talking about they have the capability. This presentation was created using both ChatGPT and Craft. I told it what I wanted. It generated two completely different scripts. And what I did is I picked the best out of the two of them. They generated outlines. They summarized information for me. They expanded it to give me more information. It was like having my own personal assistant helping me out. What I used to get my wife to do, I no longer have to bother her. I can have ChatGPT and Craft. It also suggested graphics. All the graphics you see in this presentation were generated through prompts ChatGPT. Craft. Now, this is a screenshot from Craft. It is not AI generated. I'll let you know when we go back to AI generated. Craft. What is the Craft application? Then we're going to talk about the history and origin of the macOS Craft application, its main features. And so let's take a look at what is Craft GPT? Craft GPT, a website and engine that uses artificial intelligence to act as a personal assistant. That's what separates ChatGPT. It's like you're chatting with another person. It comes very close to passing the Turing test for artificial intelligence. That is, you can't tell whether you are not speaking to another person. It was developed by OpenAI, an artificial intelligence research laboratory, and it's based upon the GPT 3.5 engine, and it's trained by searching the internet for information. It goes out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, finding out what's out there, and it catalogs it so when it needs it for reference, it can find it. It was released in 2023, so it's very new, and it uses natural language in generating, and we'll see examples of this. And it also is natural language in more than English. I believe there's 40 different languages now that it supports. It has applications for Mac OS and Windows as a web-based application. In other words, you go through a browser, and it's the same whether it's on a Mac or Windows. However, iOS and Android OS have actual applications that you can interact with. And, which I think is great, it synchronizes across platforms. So when I go from the web-based application on my Mac to my iOS application, everything I have done previously is still available to me. And another thing I really like about ChatGPT is it's conversational. That I act as if I'm talking to somebody and asking them questions. It doesn't feel like an application interface. It feels like I'm conversing with somebody across message. Here's an example of what the two of them look side by side. ChatGPT looks very similar to a word processor because that's what its roots are in. It's a word processor with hyperlink type capability. ChatGPT looks like a web-based application. It looks like messages. That's what it feels like. Now let's take a look at Craft. It has a lot of writing tools. You can do HTML type coding in it, very, very simple. You can use it for formatting code. It has a lot of writing tools to help you create writing, and we'll be taking a look at those. You have themes, fonts, writing modes like a word processor. It has grammar and spell checking like many word processors do today. And you can generate multiple file formats: text, page, cards, tables. These are all types you can generate. That's internal. The internal are the formats of the page that you see, and we'll see some of those. Externally, you can generate PDF file, Microsoft Word, images, Markdown, email, and computer code. Now, what's really interesting is that you can use ChatGPT to write computer code. Now, will it write the complete code? No. Will it write enough for you to get started with? Yes. I know if I were still writing code, I would love to have had something like this to give me a place to start, so I don't the overhead nonsense. It takes care of that for you, so you can concentrate on the problem at hand. ChatGPT, drafting, answering queries, language, it will translate. If you give it the text of one language, it'll translate it. Now, let's take a look at some of the costs. There is a free version, very limited. You have a $5 a month, which is the one that I have, which gives you a lot more flexibility. You have up to, in the free version, only 50 AI assistants per month. Is that per month or per day? I think it's per month. And the $5 a month, you have 250, which I found more than enough. But you'd be surprised at how fast you can go through that. The $10 a month one, if I were still working, that's probably the one I would use, because I find myself using ChatGPT AI quite a bit. It makes life a lot easier. ChatGPT, well, it'll be $20 a month. I don't see any reason for it unless you're using ChatGPT a lot. The subscription gives you higher priority in answering. I have yet to find that a problem. It's almost instantaneous. My conclusions are both are good. Craft is much better because it has tools for writing. So if you're primarily looking for writing as your end goal, I recommend Craft. ChatGPTs, imagine a search engine on steroids. Imagine being able to talk to somebody as if you're in messages saying, hey, I want to know about X. And it goes out and does it search for you, compiles it together, puts it into a readable form, and presents it back to you.
This is why Microsoft is invested so heavily in ChatGPT. They're bringing out Copilot for Windows, and that incorporates ChatGPT into it to do exactly what you've been saying. It replaces Cortana, and it can be used to do everything that you've just mentioned here. I actually tried it myself when it first came out in the preview mode, and I told it to write a letter to my sister, and it actually went into my previous emails and figured out that, yes, my sister lives in Australia, hi, how are you doing down there, and all that stuff. And it actually goes into basically everything that Microsoft knows about Word documents, email, and whatever, and uses all that information to personalize the output for you.
Wow.
That was preview mode. That was pretty impressive. That was a couple months ago.
Yeah. I know that there's rumors that Apple's doing the same thing, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah. I do know that I like to use ChatGPT a lot, and we're going to be seeing, and when you see the Smackdown, you're going to see what we're going to put it through. ChatGPT will write scripts. It'll write movie scripts, podcast scripts. It'll create presentations. Craft doesn't do that. Craft is for writing narrative.
And this is why we had the Writers Guild strike.
Yes.
How is that going to be controlled?
Oh, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because one of the things this allows you to do, AI in general, and ChatGPT, is it allows anybody to start writing movies, writing books. Where do you draw the line? And this argument I've had with a number of people, mainly one that I'm married to, I am the seed for what's going on. I have to have the original idea. I'm using it as a copywriter. She doesn't see it that way. She sees that it's doing the writing for you. It's an argument that's going to go on forever. But let's take a look and see. And now the Smackdown. This is we're going to take a look at how we're going to perform the Smackdown. Well, thanks to Barry, here is what we're going to do. We're going to give each of the two programs, a lot of these were your ideas. Write a formal letter asking for a credit card balance increase. Let's see what they do. Write an informal email less than 100 words. Decline an invitation to a Christmas party. And these are the prompts I'm going to give it. And what you see here is what we're going to put into the engine and see what it generates. And then write a 500-word essay on bird. Oh, this one I've actually done already. And I was shocked at how well it did. Write a 500-word essay on bird watching in the Huachuca Mountains. Then I want to summarize the article in 25 words. Create an outline of the article in Harvard notation. Provide URL of images to support the article. And then grammar and punctuation check of an article. That one I may not be able to do because I forgot to come up with an article. So if anybody's got an article out there they want to have proofread. Okay, I'm already logged in. This is me down here. This is the user interface, so this is where we're going to enter the instructions. Now let's go to craft. And this is what craft looks like. This is where I ran this to see what would happen. So we're going to create a new document. So this is what craft looks. So we're going to go back over and pick our first topic, keynote. Okay, write a formal letter. So let's go over to ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT does. I'm pasting it in. And let's see what it does. Okay, it's written us a letter. Okay, our name, address, a header, credit card, request for credit card limit increase. I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to formally request an increase in blah blah credit card account, which is currently held in our esteemed institution. My name and account number and all that. I've been a loyal and responsible cardholder with you for a number of years. Blah blah blah. Not a bad letter. Now, is it perfect? No, I would not use, I hope this letter finds you well. I would never say that in a formal letter.
Your esteemed
institution, I would never use that.
Yeah, that's kind of old-fashioned, isn't it?
But, it's a start, okay? It has given me the basis for saying, yes, I don't like that, which is a lot easier to do than what am I going to write? Mm-hmm. Now, let's go to craft, and the page title is, so I'm going to come down here, I'm going to paste this in.
That's interesting.
Press
It
insert.
from a 19th century book on etiquette.
Yeah.
And, okay. Dear Sir, Madam, I hope this letter finds you in good health. I'm running for the president. Okay. Very similar.
The second paragraph is almost exact.
Yeah.
Craft using OpenAI's API.
Yeah, it does.
Well, then
Okay.
it's not surprising if it's very simple.
Okay. So, wow. Okay. A very similar letter. Okay. Very similar. So I would say it's a tie on these two. Does everybody agree with me?
Yeah, that's it.
So let's,
Awesome. One for each.
now, over here you can see I can insert text, a page, cards, a table. I can make like a web page and have images, okay, code blocks, text formulas. So I'm going to and then we're going to go to our next example, which is write an informal email less than 100 words declining an invitation to a Christmas party. Do it. Here we go. Sender's name. Thanks so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it, but unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to the Christmas party this year. I have prior commitments. I hope you all have a fantastic time. Let's catch up soon after the holidays. It's a good email message. Agree? It's not quite my tone, but I can revise it from here. So let's now see what ChatGPT does. Craft. So I'm going to come here. Open Assistant, paste it in, and let's see. This is closer to how I would talk.
Yeah, that's a little more conversational.
Yeah, so I'm going to award this one to Craft. But you see how this works. ChatGPT, I'm like with a messenger. It's as though I'm talking to somebody. With Craft, it's like I'm in a word processor. Two different ways of doing it. Which one do I like better? If I am doing anything other than formal writing, I prefer chat. And I'll show you why in a couple of minutes, okay? We have, boy, we're going through this fast. I wasn't...
Now, does Craft use its own engine?
No, Craft uses the GPT engine,
Okay.
but GPT-4 as opposed to 3.5. So it's the latest.
I forgot about that.
Yes. So it's using, because see, ChatGPT cuts off at 2017. It knows nothing past 2017.
Right.
2021, I think, which makes it very, very interesting. And asking a question, if you ask a question that is after that, it'll say, I don't know anything about that. So let's go in, and here we go. This should be really interesting. Okay. This is a good article. The Huachuca Mountains, bird watching the Huachuca Mountains, a symphony of avian diversity. The Huachuca Mountains, nestled in the southeastern corner of Arizona, offer an enchanting haven for birdwatching enthusiasts. This range, part of the larger Sky Islands region, which I did not, is renowned for its diverse ecosystems, making it a prime destination for avian enthusiasts seeking a rich tapestry of birds. That's a good paragraph. Agreed?
It gets a symphony of avian diversity from a travel site in Hawaii.
Probably.
Yeah, interesting. I know it grabs it. I figured that could not be created on the fly.
Oh, no.
Which is good.
And Jane says that, assistive writing is plagiarism to the max. It's plagiarism with no citations whatsoever.
Yeah, that's probably combined about at least half a dozen different articles.
Yes.
But it does it well, at least in this
It
example.
talks about Ramsey Canyon. I mean, it's accurate. It talks about Ramsey Canyon,
Right. The elephant trogon is big, yeah.
sanctuary for species such as the elegant trogon.
That is huge in the canyon, yeah. A lot of bird watchers there just for that.
The Car Canyon. Wow. Painted red star, the red-faced warbler. Now, there is no guarantee this information is correct.
Well, but I can tell you, working
Yeah,
with the city tourism and marketing and communications, that those bird species are accurately fed.
yeah.
I've seen those things at and stuff.
Well, I've seen the red-faced warbler. We had some in our backyard. We had a pair of hawks nesting in our backyard. Okay, so here, this is a good article. Okay. Now I'm going to tell it. I'm going to type in summarize this. Summarize in 25 words. And it knows what I'm talking about. Okay? So it gave me a good 25-word description. Not the best, but it's good. Let's take a look at a 100-word summarization. Okay. That's a little bit better. I like that better. Now, write an outline in proper. Because I wanted to see if it would know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
You'll recognize it. Pardon?
Didn't do the indents correctly.
No, it did not. Okay, that's because of the limits of the
web page.
Yeah.
Code.
Now I'm going to do something with this one. Green outline. Provide URL of images to support the article. Let's see what it does with this.
Huh.
Okay, it can't do it, but it gave me an alternative. Okay, I'm the boss. I'm telling my assistant, based on this article I've just written, I want you to write me a video script for a 3-minute movie with music suggestions to support. I don't know what this is good. What do you do?
Whoa.
That is a video script. Okay? I could give that to my director and look at the note. Remember to choose music that fits the mood and theme of each scene, respecting copyright and licensing regulations. Consider instrumental track to allow the narration to stand out. It gives me, this is a good script. I'll let you take a look at it. Scroll up a little bit more. Transitions. What the video should look like. What the music should be. Hey, Barry, you want this for the city?
Yeah, why not? I'll give it to the video guy.
No, seriously, this is a good script. I'll send it to you. If you don't get it by Monday, let me know and I'll remember. Wow, this is really good. Okay, now let's go take a look and see what Craft does. Okay, we're going to go in and new document.
Now this is different. Starts off. Didn't give a time. Still.
He starts at a much higher level overview.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a much better article. Much better.
Didn't capitalize elegant trogon.
That's true.
But it does mention the yellow-billed cuckoo.
It does where?
Right where
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one?
No.
I've heard him, but I've yet to see him.
Okay, this one mentions hummingbirds, which the other one didn't.
Yeah, I was surprised that the other one didn't.
Yeah,
We have like
Okay, I have to award this one to Kraft.
I think so.
It did a much better job. Okay, now, right, a 25. Let's see if it.
Yeah, because the other one didn't have complete sentences. It just had bullet points.
right, yeah.
Okay, I got to tell you something. They've updated this engine since I originally did it because before I couldn't say be this interactive. They've updated it. Okay, there's a 100-word black-headed grosbeaks, acorn. I'm not familiar with those two. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. Now, write in outline in Harvard notation. Up. Assistant. This is new also. Have the assistant. And in case you don't know what you want to do.
This one invented, yeah.
Yeah, because
It is more of a word processor, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Interestingly, that
Yeah.
the assistant indented it, but when it inserted it, it lost its indentation. So you have to manually
Yep.
change it. But that's okay.
I can do it or I can't do it in ChatGPT. Okay. Good outline. Subtopics.
It approached it differently than the.
Okay, down to number 4, it kind of messed up a little bit. Because it had a 4 and then it has an A and then a 1. Oh, okay. Oh, it's 3 levels.
Yeah, it's got 3 levels.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what it did.
But I cannot indent these. It made that as a block of text. Okay.
More detailed outline.
Yeah, but you could move it to an actual word processor. If you
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, what I can do, okay, let's say that I come up, the first attract rare and common bird species. I would take this sentence, open up the assistant, and write an article about this topic.
Oh, you didn't give it a limit. It's just going to boil it over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I can go and expand any sentence. I can do the same thing in ChatGPT, but not as easily. That's one of the nice things about ChatGPT. Chart, one of the nice things is it acts like a word processor. I can insert this right here. Now, unfortunately, what you get is a lot of redundancy between the two articles because I didn't limit it. So I need to back off what I just did. Good. Or it's going to screw up the rest of this. Okay, now let's ask it about the images. I want to make sure to keep this legit.
So what would you say was the better Harvard outline there, Mary? Which one did you prefer?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean,
I think it's a tie.
Detail versus
it's
consistency.
supposedly outlining the article that it wrote, so it should be pretty.
Yeah, I'll put it as a tie. They both had pros and cons.
Now here,
It's interesting.
look at the difference about the images.
It didn't give you the stock image
No.
services that the ChatGPT did.
It also does give you a warning about copyright.
Yeah.
Oh.
So ChatGPT wins. Okay. Now let's see. Let's see what it does. Oh, by the way, one thing you find out very quickly is if you gave the same command twice, you'll get different results.
And you can just say, try again. At least the ChatGPT.
Oh,
I've done that. Trying to get ideas for wow.
no. Wow. This is significantly better.
It actually gave music suggestions, but that one didn't.
Kraft wins this one. But it didn't. I cut it off. It didn't finish.
Yeah, this actually gives.
Oh, yeah, it's Oh, wait.
It's finishing it.
It's finishing it. That's interesting.
Way to think about it.
Wow. Okay, I'm impressed.
So who's Michael Letney, and how much did he pay to get his music suggested several times? I've seen his name.
Apparently, he's a well-known musician. He's all over the online music service.
Interesting.
Or is
Both.
it like royalty-free music?
I don't know.
Service?
Probably not, because it's on Apple, it's on Amazon. Probably not.
Oh.
Wow.
Although, seem to be having difficulty pulling down music information on processing.
See all the different things you can do. Facebook post, Twitter post, poem, create example text, continue writing. I use this one a lot, continue writing. Let's try that. No, that's not what I
Back to your own.
Yeah, that's what I should have used before. So what I'm going to do up here. It did it. If you are looking for a calming and soothing music recommendation, look no further than Mountain Serenade by Michael Letney. This delightful composition takes you on a serene journey through the mountains, immersing you in a sense of peace and tranquility. With gentle melodies and soothing instrumentals, Letney creates an ambiance that allows you to momentarily escape the chaos of everyday life. Whether you need background music for relaxation, meditation, or simply want to unwind after a long day, Mountain Serenade is a perfect soundtrack to create a serene atmosphere and help you find your inner calm. Wow. Okay, I would say now I need to find Barry's. So what do you guys think so far? Any comments? No comments at all?
So far, we have Craft 5, ChatGPT 1, and 2 ties.
Okay. No comments about the technology? What do you think of it?
Well, I agree with Jane, but other than that, yeah, it's a good way to get started.
Okay. There we go. So this is something from Barry. We're going to go through and we're going to give it first to start up a new chat. Type that in.
Give it.
Wow. Your original text is well written, but I'll provide a revised version with some minor grammar.
Yeah, that's the down point. It doesn't actually show you what it's changed.
Yes,
So you'd have to like pull it out and do some kind of comparison. Can you ask?
that's right. So let's go over to craft a new article. Notice this one was not interactive at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make
It's not conversational like ChatGPT was.
I think it's just going to do the same thing. It's going to show that protect
This one gave us nothing.
Just was that just a complete reiteration of the?
Yeah, it just did it again.
It just did.
So I award this one to ChatGPT. I did a much better job because it's a narrative interaction as if I'm talking to my assistant. Okay.
But it's a tie-in in the fact that you'd have to actually have them up side by side, your original and the proofread change
Yes.
version to actually see
Right.
where they've made changes.
So the result, and here are the results, and it goes to craft. But there's some significant ChatGPTs, meaning it's still a contender.
Well, I would say that what the differences we saw is that the ChatGPT is designed more to be a search engine, while, as you mentioned, the Craft is designed to be more of a word processor.
Yeah. Well,
This kind of leans more towards Craft's strengths,
yeah.
but it does a good job for what
Yeah.
it's supposed to
But
be.
if you were looking for an assistant, ChatGPT is an assistant. It is not a word processor. It's not an application. It's more interactive. Any questions or discussion on this?
Hopefully, I'll be able to start talking about what Copilot is like. I understand it's been rolled out for Windows 11 Enterprise, but not for home users yet.
Yeah.
They keep messing around with. And plus, they weren't going to put it into Windows 10. Now they are going to put it in Windows 10. So I'm curious to see where that's. all
So it is going to go into Windows 10 now?
That's the last thing I heard was they decided
Okay.
they were going to put it in there. But we'll see.
Carol, I know that you're anti-AI. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts.
I don't know, it just seems like more hassle than it's worth, because if you're trying to do it and you want accuracy, now you gotta go check to make sure. If you're not sure, you gotta go look it up and see if it is. And then, of course, the thing, if you make changes, you can't see it. Of course, you could put it into like a word processor, both of them in, and say compare the two documents, and it'll show you the changes. But they use one more thing to do it.
Yes, very valid points. Very.
And I have heard that if you try to do it for like a research paper and ask for references, it still has a tendency to make up references on the fly.
Yeah.
As one lawyer found out.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Something I just thought about this. I'm going to try something
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to Craft and see what Craft does.
You bet.
They're covering themselves there now too. And there you go with yes, it's more work.
Yeah.
You go find citations.
Yeah.
So that's it right now. And as I said before, I use it as a tool to get started. Like putting together this presentation. It gave me the starting point.
Right.
And I used probably about 50% of it. The other 50% I didn't like.
It beats the tyranny of the blank page.
Yes.
My concern is when I was teaching here and I was teaching programming, back then I had a problem with I could not give them an assignment, a stock assignment, without having them go to Google and find it had already been completed and then just copy it.
Do you remember what some of your assignments were?
Oh, it was doing scripting. It was doing the hard stuff in Python or something like that. But
Give me an example.
I can't tell. That was a long time ago, dude. But a Python script to sort a random list.
Sort of random too.
Okay, it'll generate a list. All right.
What do you think?
Yeah, it looks about right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But the whole thing is, if they do that, how are they going to actually learn and internalize the concepts?
Actually program.
Right, yeah.
But as a programmer, stop and think about it. As a programmer, we use other people's code all the time.
Sure.
Okay.
When you were teaching me programming, I had a lot of books with suggested algorithms
Yes.
and code sample. But at least I had to think about how I was going to put it in.
Yes. If you don't know how to do this, you would not be able to use this code.
True.
To me, I compare it kind of like to a calculator, because like when I was teaching math, somebody who, like was my age or in my generation, they went through grammar school without any kind of calculator, so they had to learn the meaning of numbers.
Yes.
Kids who started out with calculators, they could put into their, the problem could say 2 + 2, and if they typed in the wrong number and it came out 8, they wouldn't even know they were wrong. Because they knew no math. And to me, this is like that. People aren't going to know how to write because something else is writing for them, and they're not even going to know if it's right or wrong. They'll look at something grammatically, and they'll think it's right because the computer says it's right, even if it isn't. That's how I kind of think of it.
I just thought how ironic that was that, as I mentioned, back when I was teaching coding, you taught me my first code a long time ago, longer than I want to think about.
And even writing code this way, Some people think, oh, if it compiles, then it's
Well,
okay.
yeah, that's always a
To do a random sort? What was it?
Yeah, to do a random, a sort on a random list. Oh, okay, it has to generate the list. Actually, that's more complete than expected. It generates the list, then it sorts it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but if for some reason there was something wrong in there and
Exactly.
it generated the list incorrectly, some people wouldn't even look at it and think, oh, well, the computer generated a list, so it must be right. And I would get that in math where, oh, well, the calculator said that's the answer, so it must be right.
So,
This will be a debate for a long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
any other questions or comments about the presentation? I hope you enjoyed it.
It's good.
Okay, everyone, that concludes this month's meeting. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday and a great Christmas and New Year's. And we'll see you in the new year.